Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Drew. I'm presenting my ethical framework for the pink slime case. First, I would like to identify the issue. The first step would be to actually define the issue. So I'm going to provide some context around the founder of Beef Products Inc. and the actual company. So Beef Products Inc. was mostly known for going above and beyond federal sanitation guidelines to prevent bacteria from affecting products. Its founder, Eldon Roth, was widely known for creating a product called lean, finely textured beef. So this product was created by using a centrifuge to separate lean beef from fat, resulting in both an overall price and fat content reduction. After creating this product, the leaner, less expensive beef will be combined with conventional ground beef and sold to consumers as well as buyers in the meat industry. So in 1993, an E. coli outbreak took place in Jack in the Box restaurants where they were serving undercooked hamburgers and caused more than 600 people to become ill and killed 4 children. At this time, BPI products were not involved in this episode, but the founder, Roth, saw it was an opportunity to make the lean, finely textured beef product better. So in 1994, he began working on a method to reduce pathogens in the product by treating it with ammonia gas once it was removed from the centrifuge. In 2001, the FDA and the USDA approved the new pH enhancement system. However, an FDA inspector at that time dubbed the product pink slime in a private email to a colleague. He also stated that he did not consider it to be ground beef and believed that it was a form of fraudulent labeling. For years, the email was only seen inside the USDA until 2009, when the New York Times ran an article questioning the safety of the products. It also cited that documentation of E. coli and Salmonella pathogens were found in a dozen times in the beef product's meat. It also stated that there was a strong odor coming from the product, and that complaint came from buyers. And it also quoted the USDA inspector calling the product pink slime, ultimately introducing it to the general public. At that time, few people paid attention to the article until 2011, when celebrity chef James Oliver reported about the LFTB product on his show and tried to replicate the process by combining beef and throwing ammonia on it and placing it into a front-loading wash machine. Of course, viewers were shocked and appalled at the process, and although it was done incorrectly because the chemical process used by Beef Products Incorporated was a gaseous ammonia in a process and not taking place in a washing machine. People and the public's reaction was still not as outraged as they should have been, but they were outraged. Almost a year later, just after Roth was inducted into the Meat Industry Hall of Fame for his invention of lean, finely textured beef, ABC decided to run a 11-part series on the products. They stated that BPI misled consumers about its beef product and also had the USDA inspector come on and report that it was not fresh ground beef and it was a substitute, actually a cheap substitute being added into ground beef. At this time, social media picked up on the story, became more widespread. A number of newspapers jumped onto the story, and they actually started to interview food scientists who reported all of the facts about the actual product. Going forward, the scientists that were interviewed stated that ABC did not report all of the facts. However, it was too late. Social media had already ran with the story. A number of newspapers also picked up the story, and the outcome was less than desirable for BPI. As a result of the press, in less than 30 days, fast food chains, supermarkets, and public schools stopped serving beef that included LFTB. The company went from producing 5 million pounds of the product per week to less than 2 million and was forced to shut down 3 of its 4 plants and lay off more than 700 employees. In identifying the issue would be to consider the stakeholders and their interests. So, of course, Eldon Roth as the founder, Beef Products Inc., inclusive of all employees, consumers that are eating the products from BPI, the FDA, the USDA as the authoritative head, the meat industry and food industry as they are the buyers of the products, and food scientists who have weighed in on their opinion. So the next step would be to evaluate all possible actions and give 3 solutions. So with this assignment, I was charged not with managing the PR crisis, but answering the questions of if the product is unethical, if BPI has misled people, and where did they go wrong for Mr. Roth. And so I gave pretty much these 3 options. Is unethical and misleading. Option 2, no, the product is not unethical or misleading. And option 3, let the public decide if the product is unethical or misleading. It makes sense to, based on my framework, to determine the pros and cons of each of the options. And so just to label a few, option 1, it provides me with the opportunity to express to the founder that he can now provide full disclosure to all stakeholders about the actual process, but also he has to admit to guilt. Option 2 basically empowers him to hold federal agencies accountable for approving the product for public consumption, but also as a con, determine next steps without receiving backlash or facing additional public scrutiny. And option 3, it encourages them to listen to the customers' views and get on social media and engage audience. But it is kind of an ambiguous answer, and we are not entirely sure how the consumers may respond to this option. So ultimately, I decided to pick number 2. No, the product is not unethical, and BPI did not mislead the people or do anything wrong. Simply because I believe that finely textured beef is beef. It is safer than other beef products that have not gone through the pH enhancement process. Furthermore, you haven't misled people if the product wasn't safe. It is a responsibility of the FDA and the USDA to promote and protect public health through control and supervision of food safety, as well as developing and executing federal laws related to the food. They should be held accountable. I also don't believe it was misleading because the founder actually believed that the process was helping consumers and not being exposed to E. coli and salmonella or other pathogens that may cause them to get sick. In addition to the proven information on the products by food scientists who did not have the ability to have all the information that they divulged to the ABC network and other reports that were entirely true. So I ultimately picked number 2. So, in conclusion, I think that's important to track the response to the decision. So, internally, see, if the employee morale changes based on you backing what you initially said and what you believe that BPA products are safe. And also externally, monitoring stakeholder sentiments using social media or other outlets. I just think it's very important to create rules and measures just simply to learn from the past and not recreate the wheel or make the same mistakes.